hold on. No one asked you to deal with guys that were going to give you trauma. Now you expect me to be to be some type of therapist. I'm the man. That's not my job to be a therapist to fix guys that you shouldn't have got with in the first place. I think it's you're putting things onto men that men don't actually need to deal with. I'm just supposed to be a good man. That I don't need to be your therapist and to fix why this guy did this to you and did that to you.
I mean, you're sounding like somebody that's experienced some really toxic women because because seriously, because it's coming across that.
He's just saying, golly, all he is saying is what is just the truth. He's telling you as a man, I'm not like supposed to be a therapist. Like obviously he doesn't mean that in like a mean, like, oh, we can't talk things through. That's not what you need. It's like, I'm not going to be like a therapy session for you to like unload your baggage onto me because it's not, I don't know, maybe it's not sexy. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. Like, I'm your man now. Like, let's move forward. But because you have all this baggage from bad men, now I have to take that on and help you fix that. Like, it just sucks because you don't want to do that when you get with someone. That's why the men prefer virgins. Even as a woman, you should prefer a virgin man because it's just like, neither of y'all gonna have baggage that you have to deal with one another. You don't have to deal with his ex-girlfriends. You don't have to deal with her ex-boyfriends. Y'all just come in and you can just start your life because there's no baggage there. But when one has too many ex-partners or the other one, has too many ex-boyfriends or something like that, it's a lot because usually you might come in with trust issues or experiences of how this person used to act and that person used to act. And it's just, he's talking not necessarily from personal experience. It's just what it is. What you have to deal with when you get with someone who has had partners is just, now I have to deal with how you went through Chads and Tyrones and I have to deal with, I don't even know what's the girl names for Chads and Tyrones. Maybe like the Britneys and the Jessicas. I don't know. The girl has to deal with your Biancas and Chanel, or I don't know. The girl has to deal with your girl problems too.
Because I'm always feeling an attack. I'm gonna lie, I've just come and sat here with you lot. I tried to catch in what the subject was, but there's a bare aggression in
He's not aggressive. He's just being honest. See, and what he's saying is that like, why should the men of the future have to pay for your past? So if you had, and I'm not saying you did. I know not all girls did, but this is just a common thing that men tell me. And then, like, if you had toxic boyfriend, toxic ex, bad boy, and then you get in this new relationship and you dump all of that onto the new guy, why does he have to deal with that?
Yeah, no one should have to deal with that. However, you come with your own things as well. Everyone comes with their own things. I feel like it's about how people unpack it. I think once I
think the toxic, like, boyfriend, toxic ex type things for a woman, the experience of those bad relationships are very, I don't know, I feel like those are, like, the first things you see when you have several past bad relationships. Like that, you can see a lot more in how she speaks and how she talks and how she, approaches being with this new guy.
These things are, it's not to go to the new person that you're seeing, oh, this has happened to me and you better not do this to me. Do you get what I mean? It's about everybody has their things.
So my thing is this, right? It gets to me when women automatically, when a man speaks, you start trying to put all this aggression, all these types of things. Yeah. It's not that. Please, we need to stop this because it's a tactic that women use all the time, especially on here. It's a shaming tactic. That as soon as a man speaks about something, you start talking about aggression and all these types of things. We need to really to stop it because that's not what's going on here. But I have to.
He wasn't aggressive at all.
It up because
I always say, listen to people's words.
Yeah, listen to my words.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of right now. It's one of the most important things I've ever been taught. Listen to the words people are saying, not the tone in which they're saying it, because you will miss wisdom like that. Sometimes people talk loud. Sometimes people are like aggressive, mean, whatever. Sometimes they're too quiet. It can go many ways with that saying, but listen to the words they are saying and try to catch that wisdom, because wisdom comes in many different octaves.
To the tone, because what tends to happen is you use the tone and use the tone to take away from the actual message.
The actual point.
So, like, there's no aggression here, there's no animosity, there's nothing. But literally what I'm saying is women tend to go and do this, and we've experienced this. And as men, we're trying to speak and tell you of our experiences, and we speak in a way that men speak. Whenever we do, we're shamed for it.
Okay, that's a natural response for you.
I'm sorry. He's like, that was adorable.
I think it's important, when you're talking about women that get run through by bad boys and whatnot, I think it's important to remember that there are women that choose those people. Like, I have a ex-friend, and that was her thing. Like, she wants the hood boy, she wants the gangster, she wants the trapper. And then there's women that never see that part of them and fall in, become attracted to like the sensitivity that they may see in a man, but then he turns out to be a
You
bad
controls it.
Emily, let me ask you.
a bad.
There's always a sign. If I've seen anything or learned anything about like bad men or like good or bad guys that try to be good guys or bad guys that try to be nice guys, there's almost always a sign. Like I've had older women, younger women who've been in way more relationships than I have always say like it's usually right there. Like I be saying in my videos, you can see a lot of these things from the first 10, 15 minutes of talking, being with someone. Like if you learn patterns and you understand psychology and how people act and why they do certain things, eventually you'll be able to just spot these things, and it won't be so hard for you to see when someone's clearly faking it or clearly not who they say they are, because there's just always a sign. I have yet to see a bad guy who didn't have signs of being a bad guy within at least the first week or the first 2 or 3 times of meeting someone. You can see a couple of things that's just like, this is bad. And I do mean bad, not like, oh, that's weird, or oh, that's, different, or you're kind of awkward or something like that. No, those are ones where you kind of have to like take a minute to read into or whatever. But bad guys usually have their bad traits or bad habits not on full display, but you can see it. And after asking a few questions, when you first meet someone, obviously you ask a few questions, you can see by their answers who they kind of are, like, and they can lie about their answers, but more often than not, bad guys, they give it away somehow. You usually see the signs.
I mean, no, we know deep down. Like, I just don't buy it when girls say, "Oh, I was bamboozled one day." No, you weren't. Come on.
Yeah, no, I
Let me ask you, when you said the sense, do sensitive guys attract women? Because you said that you were attracted to the sensitivity of a guy.
Yeah.
Do sensitive men attract women generally?
I don't think so.
Yeah, one day, me and you might actually sit down.
I think it's the dominating, like, I was about to say archetype, the dominating type of where it just feels like this intimidating type of leader, very 50 Cent feeling, where both the look and just his overall, like, vibe. It's just very, I can lead, I can take down, I don't know how to explain it. And the sensitive type, we already know how this goes. Most women are not usually attracted to that. Obviously, there are some that would be perfectly fine with it, but I think majority is just like the LeBron type. It's just the big dudes who walk with purpose, speak with purpose. They just look very leader-like, very strong build stature, and they just kind of ooze or have like this aura of strength. The more intimidating, the more dominating type vibe is usually what women are attracted to.
One day, me and you might actually sit down with my ex that I ended in court with.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, super abusive. It was
because it's like,
my ex that I ended in court with.
What is the point of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, super abusive. It was horrible, and he turned out to be he's a lovely guy now. We're friends. But
you're friends with your abuser?
ex?
Yes, I am, because I'm a quality woman who overstands like the trauma.
You do not. Oh my goodness. What? I never understood the whole being friends with your ex thing. You're done with them. You can, especially if you have no children, you're done. I can't do this enough. You have no children. You broke up with them. Leave. Why are you still chatting it up with them? Why? And then people want to be like, oh, we've been friends for so long. We were friends before the marriage. We'll be friends after. No. You broke up for a reason. I don't know why y'all still together.
People have been through and understand why certain things happen and help them to progress and stop perpetuating negative cycles. But anyway, I fell for him based on a fight that happened on a bus, and his care to the little boy and the old man that were like caught up in it is what made me look back and then start a conversation with him. Right. I had no idea he was a bad boy. He was a super like chubby Asian boy, like nerdy looking, whatever. Right. And it was after months of really like sweet conversations and whatnot. There was no inkling. There
had to be something. I highly doubt that there wasn't, after months, you didn't see at least one or two things, because no one's perfect all the time. That's a fact. And, obviously when you see like one bad thing, you don't have to immediately run, but you'll see niblets of like things that's like, this isn't very good, or this is not going to be like a good long-term like relationship. And I think there might be a little bit of fibbing there, because you see it. you usually see it, and after a few months, you're definitely gonna see it. There is something there.
Red flag that this could be a bad guy. In fact, there was plenty green flags, that would show me that he's a lover.
Well, and you know what? There are some crazy guys who just are perfect at playing the nice guy role, and they just are crazy. Like, you know, in order to be, I forgot what I had learned, where it's just like, in order to be like a good, kind of like evil guy or something like that, you do have to be charming. So, you know, if that was her situation, I could understand.
Which is very common in abusive men.
So don't you think someone who's too emotional is more likely to be an abuser?
Yeah, and that's something that I now identify after the years.
Because they don't know how to control their emotions.
Exactly. So I think it's really important that we don't kind of, you knew, because it's not as
how long?
as
So
that.
So it was about 6 months, you said, before he started to show signs.
The first like proper abuse was after like 9 months.
After 9 months.
No,
and then how long did it go
there
on?
we go. There we go. She just said proper. Sorry, put on the accent. The first proper abuse came after 9 months. So that means he had done something before then. He had, like, I said it. He had done something before then. There was signs beforehand. Before that 9 month mark, there was signs there. This was not it. This is not who you're supposed to be with.
For 9 months. And then how long did it go on for that?
For 3 years.
For 3 years. And then you took him to court?
No, a police officer drove past as he punched me into a bush. An undercover police officer drove past. They jumped out and took him. They didn't need me because they witnessed it. I'm not a snitch.
But this is where I don't understand. You say you didn't know, but he wasn't abusive for 9 months, and then you knew for 3, and you stayed.
I was a child, and that's why I've been through so much therapy to make sure that I don't.
How old were you?
Let's not, because I can't edit. No, like, let's not. Yeah.
Because
but that adds that help. What I keep seeing a lot is like this whole, you know, when I was 19, 20, or 21 type thing. So it's like, it doesn't count. You know, I was a kid, but it's like, I think it was very recent. She looks like she's about 27, 28. So probably this ended maybe like 1 to 2 years ago, early 20s, mid 20s, which maybe she's considering that her to be just very naive, very young, very childlike. And it's like, I don't think you're a child in that range. You do know better, but to stay for 3 years, that one, I need to know why would you stay for 3 years? After the first one and at that 9 month mark, I would have been running. Would have been gone. You would have never seen me again. But like 3 years?
Yeah.
Because the reason why you said you was a child, so we need to know how old.
I'm saying it was then. So when someone says to me, you stayed. Yeah, I didn't know.
What's the age? How old?
We're not doing that, baby.
But the point is that doesn't sound honest, because you did know. If you stayed longer, you stayed for 3 years. You were there for.
I knew, but I'm saying how I became his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Before me becoming his girlfriend, the courting, the initial period, there were no signs. It was after I was his girlfriend, I was his. Then he was relaxed. Do you understand?
I was with you.
I
was with you, until you said, "Oh, I was young," and then I asked you how old you was, and you won't tell me. See, that sounds disingenuous to me, because the rest of the
I said to Sarah, I would love if we could have a conversation.
We don't have to. We're just in the age.
No, this came about from
eventually.
So my type has like always been like I don't know. I'm attracted to like the not typically or stereotypically beautiful men.
He was cute. The one you just showed me.
So when you say you called off an engagement.
Yeah, so he was going to engage, he was going to propose one day, like, people let it slip, and then I kept on hinting, like, I don't think it's the right time, it's not the right time, it's not the right time.
That dude that you just...
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he didn't. Like, the ring's there, the ring's still sitting in Hatton Gardens. Like, after a while, like, I just realised that it wasn't going to work, so...
Why?
Because there's just too much going on.
Right, okay.
Yeah, too much going on.
Was he a good guy?
He wasn't a good guy.
So then why would you...
So you're not attracted... I think she's attracted to the bad boys, but she doesn't want to say bad boys, but like bad boys... I don't even know how to explain it, but bad boys who aren't attractive. You know, like, when you think of Chads and Tyrones, you think of, like, Idris Elba, but if he was, like... Or, like, 50 Cent, 2004, attractive bad boy type. But I think she's putting, like, the guys that she likes in the unattractive category, but they're still bad boy types.
The ring, then? It doesn't make any sense.
I didn't accept the ring. That's what I'm saying. I called it off. At the point of us going to, like, look at rings, I thought it would work. And then the realization kicked in, so I didn't allow myself
What you sound like to me is you sound like you've dated bad boys, you've been attracted to bad boys, not the ones that would take you down the aisle, and at some point you realize, actually, I need to change what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay, so, but initially you're given. So this is what women do, right? You spend your 20s to the point when you're in your 30s chasing the wrong types of men. Then once you get to your 30s, you realize, actually, I shouldn't be doing this, right? And you've been chasing after Chad and Tyrone, and then your options start to diminish. And at 30, you're like, okay, what the hell have I done? But in reality, there would be men, you're a pretty woman, there'd be men that would have taken you up, that would have happily done this, but you aired them, you literally did not see them. And the reason why you didn't...
I was loyal to crap, yeah.
No, but
well, the thing is...
That's very generalised, though, isn't it? It's what women do.
No, but it's like you're telling me stuff that I already know, so I'm letting you land.
No, but she's agreeing. So basically, the reason why I'm saying this is because we've done this show, we speak to women. Like, if you use your 20s and you end up in your 30s and you do not have a man, you've had from at least 17, 18, you've had about 12 years for you to lock it down. If you didn't, it's not because you didn't meet any good men, it's because you literally outweighed your options, and now you end up at 30 years old, and now you're competing for women in their 20s with the men that you would want.
So then, and this is what happens with men in their 30s and 40s, right? That is when they become more established. Mm-hmm. And that is when they become a little bit more attractive. Mm. Most millionaires don't become millionaires until they're like late 30s, early 40s, sometimes 45. And so the men that have watched the women, right? They've watched women curb them. I don't want him. He's a geek. He's a this. He's a that. I don't like him. They've watched that throughout their 20s, and then they've established themselves, and they're watching now the same women who didn't give them any time. Now, like, oh my God, I want those type of guys. And they're like, not me, love. That's what they're doing. They're like, not me, because when it was time, when I was kind of showing you exactly who I was and being a good guy, and I could be a good guy, you wanted the thugs on the street that would get your door kicked in at 4 o'clock in the morning.